Using the Declaration as your source, in your own words, describe the principles of a good government. Where did the founders get these ideas? Do you think these principles are valid today? Why or why not? You may begin when you're ready.
According to us, the principles of a good government is protecting your life, liberty, and property, also known as natural rights.
The government must also protect our liberty because in Amendment 4 it states that no person shall be searched of their house, papers, or self. One example of protecting your liberty is if a police officer wants to search a person because he predicts that they're doing something wrong. But in Amendment 4 it states that people have the right to search their homes, papers, and effects against under unreasonable search.
The government must protect our properties because in Amendment 3 it states that you don't have to let soldiers live in your house in times of peace, no war. For example, during the Quartering Act, they sent soldiers to the colonists' homes to use the house as their without any consent. I do believe that government does protect our life today because when the DC snipers, John Malvo and John Muhammad, were killing people, the government police came and stopped them.
The government must also protect your life because in Amendment Number 2 it states that a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of the people. Another example is if you get hurt, then there is a hospital that the government provides to you and anybody else in need of treatment. They also protect our liberty today because there is a jail, but they can't take away all of your liberty because they get phone calls, letters, and visitors. Plus, you have the right to go on trial, and they can't keep you in jail unless they try you, as it says in the Bill of Rights.
Yes, I also believe that government does protect the people's property because even though there's war, they don't have soldiers staying at other people's houses using their food or transportation.
Where did the founders get their idea for the government?
One person that the founders got their ideas from was John Locke. He was a philosopher who lived from 1632 to 1704. He believed in a term called a state of nature, which means there is no government or rules.
The founders believed that this could happen if there were no government, so that started the Declaration of Independence and the ideas for the document.
The founders also got their ideas from the Romans, who were the first to create a government, and what the founders learned from this, that is the citizens have the power to govern. Two citizens delegate their power to leaders they elected to represent them and to serve their interests.
The founders also got their ideas from the British. They got an
It's time, but if you want to finish your statement, is that all right?
they got the example from the Magna Carta, and what they got from the government, what they got from that was the government is based on a contract between the ruler and people who ruled it. Government by contract also includes the ideas that if either side breaks the contract, that contract is no longer valid.
You mentioned that the concept of the right to a well-regulated militia.
Yes.
Many people today use that amendment to the Constitution as the basis for an argument that people should have the right to possess guns. What do you think?
They're using it as an excuse. If they do wrong or something, they shouldn't have a gun on them, really. Because you should be able to protect yourself, but in some ways, they protect themselves in the wrong way.
Dr. Martin Luther King said that when there are arguments and stuff, they shouldn't be taken over with fights and guns and stuff. They should be settled with talk or either peace.
They could either settle it out or they could call for the police so if things get too out of control.
I'd like to follow up on the sub-question do you think the principles of the Declaration of Independence are still valid today? And asked you if you could think of some possible examples where the U.S. Congress, our federal government, passed a law that lived up to the principle in the Declaration that all men are created equal.
As it said in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equally. So that means that all men should be free, and that still lives up. That still lives up to this day, because all men are free and they're not under anybody's control or anybody's consent or anything like that.
Over the past 4 years, we've been in a troubling era. What do you want to see happen? Let's start in the community, in your community, in the next 4 years with the new upcoming president.
There are many drug dealers, a whole lot of violence in my community. I want to see that change because it's affecting me, it's affecting my family, and everybody else in the community. I think President-elect Barack Obama can stop this in the next 4 years.
I would agree with him. There's a lot of gang violence in my neighborhood, and people get hurt and get killed, and I would like President-elect Barack Obama to prevent that from getting more jobs for younger men and young women, so they won't be on the streets selling drugs or prostituting or things like that.
I do too, because I live on Alabama Avenue, and it's a lot of drug violence and shooting, and they're stealing cars. And once they stole my aunt's car, and she called the police, but they didn't do nothing about it. So I really think it shouldn't be any drug violence or anything going on in the neighborhoods.
Very good.